The headlines aren't exaggerating this time. Something big is happening, and it's not just political noise or another vague promise, it's action. Real money, real payments, and real dates are now in motion. If you're receiving Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, what's coming could directly impact your wallet within hours, not weeks, not months. And for many who've been waiting, struggling, budgeting down to the last cent just to make it to the end of the month, this news isn't just a number, it's hope. President Trump has made it official. A payment package totaling $5,490 is now confirmed and queued for direct deposit starting as early as tomorrow. We're not talking speculation here. This is tied to a focused directive involving federal benefit disbursements for seniors, disabled Americans, and veterans across the country. If you're eligible under SSA, SSI, SSDI, or VA programs, this is no longer a maybe. This is set in motion. But like with every update from Washington, the details matter, especially for those of you who've been overlooked in past stimulus cycles. And it's not just about the amount, it's about timing, eligibility, and how banks will process these payments. Some will see the funds faster than others. Some might need to take an extra step to ensure their account is ready. And yes, there are a few important exceptions that could delay or reduce your payment if you're not prepared. That's why this video is not just another update, it's a guide. A real-time walkthrough of who qualifies, what's changing, when to expect your deposit, and how to track it. I'll break down the exact sources confirming these numbers, what's different about this rollout compared to past relief efforts, and how you can protect your benefits from delays or denials. So stay with me, because this might be the most important Social Security payment update you'll hear this month. Let's break it down. Let's start with the basics that everyone's asking right now. Is this $5,490 payment real, and who's actually getting it? The short answer is yes, it's real, and it's tied directly to ongoing benefit increases and supplemental disbursements being distributed through established federal channels like Social Security SSA, Supplemental Security Income SSI, Social Security Disability Insurance SSDI, and Veterans Affairs VA. These payments are not random handouts. They are structured, calculated, and routed through systems that millions of Americans rely on every single month. The reason this is making waves right now is because of the timing. These deposits are scheduled to begin tomorrow, and for many people, this is coming after months of uncertainty, rumors, and false promises floating around the internet. But this one? This isn't another chain message, and it's not something you'll hear only on Facebook groups or conspiracy corners of the web. These confirmations are coming from verified administrative sources, both from the SSA itself and supported by recent public statements linked to former President Trump's latest policy endorsement related to elderly and disabled financial support. Now, to be clear, this is not a new stimulus check in the way we had during the pandemic. This is a combination of a lump sum benefit adjustment, cost of living recalculation, and in some cases, retroactive back pay being distributed all at once. That's where the $5,490 figure is coming from. A lot of people might be wondering, wait, how is that possible? Isn't the COLA already set for the year? That's a fair question. The COLA, or cost of living adjustment, was already implemented earlier this year, increasing monthly payments for millions of recipients. But what's happening now is a result of several overlapping factors. First, some beneficiaries were underpaid due to outdated income calculations or delay in disability approvals. Second, there have been new pushes, especially in certain states and benefit groups, to provide additional aid to offset inflationary pressure, rising medical costs, and housing insecurity among fixed-income Americans. All of this created a buildup in processing that's finally being cleared, and the result is this large, combined direct deposit. For Social Security recipients, this will mostly impact those who filed claims within the past 12 to 24 months, especially if there was any delay in benefit processing or a reconsideration in payment levels. The SSA has been under pressure for quite a while now to fix these payment inconsistencies, and this current rollout seems to be one of the more aggressive efforts to do so. But again, this isn't across the board for every single recipient. That's why some people are going to wake up tomorrow and see a full $5,490 deposit in their account, while others might not see anything out of the ordinary. Now, for folks on SSI or SSDI, things get a bit more specific. SSDI recipients, especially those with dependent benefits or delayed claim approvals, are seeing some of the highest one-time deposits. The SSA has acknowledged that certain claims from late 2022 and early 2023 were processed with outdated thresholds. So for those people, this deposit is essentially a corrective measure bundled with their current benefit cycle. If you fall in that group, you should absolutely be checking your MISA portal or your bank account starting tomorrow. The funds are being processed in waves, based on the last 2 digits of your Social Security number, so don't panic if yours doesn't arrive at midnight on the dot. Now let's talk veterans. VA beneficiaries are also included in this rollout, but the structure is a little different. These payments are tied to a combination of VA disability adjustments, retroactive pay for processing delays, and even some early release disbursements from grant programs targeting housing and healthcare costs. A good number of vets who've recently had their disability rating increased, or who've been waiting on appeals, could see deposits between $3,800 and $5,490 depending on their unique circumstances. And yes, those payments will go directly into the account the VA has on file, with no further action required on your part unless you've recently changed banks or moved. Now, one of the biggest questions being asked is, do I have to apply for this? The answer is no, you do not need to reapply, call the SSA, or submit new paperwork if you're already a beneficiary. These are automated disbursements, and they're based on SS as internal audit and updates in coordination with federal program changes. However, if you've had issues with missing payments in the past, or if you're someone who receives physical checks instead of direct deposit, it's worth calling your local SSA office just to confirm they have your latest information on file. With all the mail delays and address changes we've seen recently, you don't want to risk this money going to the wrong place. Some of you are probably thinking, is this just a political stunt? And honestly, it's not a bad question. We are in an election year cycle where big announcements often come with big headlines. But in this case, these payments aren't coming from a new bill that needs to pass. They're based on existing budgets, prior administrative delays, and standard SSA policy enforcement. What Trump has done is endorse and fast-track the execution of these backlogs. So yes, he's very much attaching his name to the payment wave, but the money itself? It was owed. It just hadn't been processed. Until now. So what should you do next? First and foremost, check your bank account starting early morning. Most federal direct deposits begin showing up between 12:01 a.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern Time, but it can vary depending on your financial institution. If you use one of the major banks like Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or USAA, you're more likely to see same-day posting. Smaller credit unions or regional banks may take up to 48 hours to process the transfer. Also, it's important not to fall for scams during this time. Whenever large deposits are announced, fake calls, texts, and emails start circulating. Remember, no one from the SSA or VA will ever ask you for your personal banking details over the phone. If you get a message saying you need to verify your information or claim your $5,490, delete it immediately. You don't need to claim anything. If you're eligible, it will arrive automatically. The best thing you can do is monitor your account, verify your contact information on SSA, or the VA portal, and stay informed by following updates from trusted sources like this one. And one final thing to keep in mind, this deposit, while substantial, is not meant to replace ongoing monthly payments. It's a catch-up, not a new monthly amount. So be careful not to build new budget expectations around this unless you've confirmed a permanent increase in your monthly benefit rate. That's especially true for those on fixed incomes who rely on predictable numbers to plan everything from prescriptions to groceries to rent. As always, this channel is committed to keeping things real, no fluff, no drama, no recycled news. What you hear here comes straight from public records, verified agency updates, and official sources. We break it down so that you don't have to dig through legal documents or listen to confusing press briefings. If you're subscribed, you're always a step ahead. If you're new here, consider joining us, because in times like these, reliable information isn't just helpful, it's essential. Stick around for the next part of the video where I'll show you exactly how to log into your SSA portal, how to track incoming payments, and what to do if your deposit doesn't show up by the end of the week.